afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming. I hope you all understand this kind of session is like very, very crucial to your master of training for your research component. Because before this, we don't even have this type of lecture and we don't know what is grant until we become a senior lecturer, I think. Not even during our master training phase. So I hope this topic won't cause too much of heaviness for your brain today, because a lot of people already have brain hypoxic just now, according to Dr. Teo. After teaching the student, she already got the brain hypoxic, she said. So don't worry, just an introduction. Yeah. Later on, look at the types of grant that we are talking, and then you can ask me whether this one is suitable for your study, or later on we can discuss, and you also can look for our research team headed by Prof. Gauri, Prof. Vairavan, they all, and Dr. Tanya. Yeah, they will help you out. Yeah, don't worry. Okay, so let's see the okay, so what is the importance? Why we are looking for funding in our research? Yeah, so you can see few reasons for that. The first thing is the research we have to make sure is very innovative, right? We are looking for new things. We are looking for new technique, new treatment, new vaccine. All these things need a lot of lab research and money. So even you do a survey, right? When you go out for a survey, you also need a lot of funding for your whatever transport, everything. You are collecting data, you are looking for a software, all this need money. So all this, because of that, every research actually should have a grant. But of course, when we compete to get a grant, people will look at innovative. If your research is like repeating from other people's research, of course, people won't award you grant. So that is a very important. That's why when your lecturer or your supervisor asks you to do some topic, so they already search around and see whether the topic is good and then can be awarded for a grant of get funding as well, So that is the reason we don't simply like just repeating a research, yeah? So we need an innovative, and we need new discovery, yeah? And along from there, we also understand that with this funding, with this grant, then we can move on to a better research. Then we can even make our knowledge as well as understanding of the certain topics more advanced, right? So you can publish your paper. If it is a new knowledge, people definitely will accept your your paper or manuscript, or your new ideas and innovative things that you have created. Yeah. So from there also, we can boost our economic growth. Let's say the research end up with a new vaccine, so that vaccine actually can become a very good IP with a patency. Then you can get more and better driving to your not economic growth in our country. Yeah. Also, when you do research, you also with the grant, you want to get more collaboration, because some research and some grant, they need you to match. So when you match means you match with another team, yeah, another collaborator. So in terms of research for that granted under the grant has been promoting more networking for you as well as the university and your center. Yeah. So it also help us to address a lot of challenges in our society. Yeah. So this is very important why the grant is crucial as well as the funding in a research. Yeah. So now we don't talk too much on the detail of a research, but now we are looking at how can we get a grant? How can we get funding for our research, right? So we go just a few steps, yeah, so that you can understand more why a grant so important in a research, yeah. So we have a steps. Everything have steps. Everything have cycle, yeah. So in grant cycle, when you want to talk about how to get a grant for a research, then we need to look back. reflect back to ourselves first. When we look for funding, so first thing is, just now I said, we need to have innovation in the research project. So you need to have objective. Why you want to do this research? First thing is, your research impactful? Can they impact your society? Can they impact internationally? All that is all a small thing, like a vaccine. When we talk about like cancer vaccine, all that, will it impact internationally? It will, right? Because the vaccine can be used later on for cancer patients, for other things. Then even other country population also can use, right? So it really impacting. So when we talk about a certain special things and innovative thing, so definitely the grant and the funded body will look at very, very crucial about whether it's impacting or not the research world, as well as your nation and international. And now, how important and whether the research can benefit a lot of people or not, and why this research is needed to be done. So the first thing, these four questions, right, actually need you to answer first. You need to reflect to yourself whether your research project fulfill all these four criteria or not before you put on your grant application. So after that, then you come, when you already answer these four questions for your research, then next step, you need to look for a suitable grant. A suitable grant means the grant that suit the research area of interest. So some grant is only for social science, some grant for other things. So you need to look at your research, then only you can match which grant is suitable and which body is awarding the grant. So after that, then after you fulfill all these things, then you move on to prepare the proposal for the grant. And finally, when you get awarded the grant, then you can move on to your research. So now let's look at how to create or how to do a grant proposal. So important is when this is very general. Most of the grant requests for all these subtitle, and then you can see here every steps that you give and you put into your opinion about your research project. They want to look at impacting or not. The third steps you can see here, the background of significance. How significant is your study to the world, to the society, or that? So you have to tell us when you done this research and you get your output, what will happen to the output. So all this is very important and crucial, and you need to frame it. And of course, you need to be honest when you talk about your research output, because if you cannot achieve the output, right, the grant might end, you might end up like you get this grant, but the future one, they will give a lot of feedback on the research or grant that they have awarded, then you might have problem in future. So be honest, and you don't go beyond the steps or the outcome that you are going to produce. So in the proposal, you need to have a certain limit of significance, as well as you need to be honest, and your framework have to be very detailed, and your budget need to be quite reasonable. And as well as when you look for the grant, and your budget have to be matched. Let's say your project need 2 million, right? So your grant only 100K, 100,000. Do you think you can fulfill and reach the end milestone of your research? Impossible, right? So you need to have all this, that let's say you want to do that research, maybe the first grant only do one of the parts of your future, the whole project, so that you can match with another grant in future when your first result of your output already confirm that the research is doable, and that is a good significance even from the phase one. So all these are very important, and you really need a lot of guidance if you are quite junior and don't know about this process. don't worry, because a lot of mentorship around our university will help out, yeah. Don't worry about, yeah, how can I get this grant? Can I fulfill my output or not, all that, yeah. But you need to really honest and understand what you are going to do, yeah. Okay, so there's a lot of funding source that we will look at later on, but generally we can see funding have multi sources, yeah. You can have local funding source, national, regional, and international, yeah. So, and the type of sources you can see from here, they can be from federal, from our government, yeah. They can be industrial, like private industry. They can be a professional body grants, like sometimes we can hear like hematologists, they have a society, then they award the grant for research. They also, you also can see some corporate give some grant, or NGO, like NGO like Magna, they also give grant to us, yeah, right. So all this is the source of grant, and on and off we can see our emails. Our research office, they will source everywhere that the grant opening, then they will email us, then a lot of opportunity from there, yeah. So let's see what type of grant is suitable for our postgraduate study, yeah. So this is the few slides from our research management unit from Faculty of Medicine, yeah. Thank you to Prof. Gauri to getting this latest one for me, yeah. Then you can see here, for our postgraduate student, pertaining to very confined types of grant, we have about 4, yeah. The first one is our Faculty of Medicine that offering postgraduate scholarship scheme, yeah. That scheme, sometimes it can involve study or research for the full research mode student, yeah. So the second one, UMSC Care Fund research grant, and our MMRG, they are also offered to faculty staff, yeah. So if your study is attached to your supervisor, then your supervisor actually can apply the grant for the study, yeah. So, and the last two actually is not really direct in contact with your study, but sometimes you do need them, like publication charges. Sometimes your research need, the final output will be publication, right? So if the publication charges quite high, then actually you can apply publication charges grant, yeah. And the short-term funding for conference, short courses, sometimes in your study you might need somewhere that you need to go for some courses to get the skill before you come back and perform the whole methodology of your study. So sometimes the UMSC Care Grant do help, yeah. So you can see here, all the grant, right? We do have who is the target applicants that we direct them, and then what is the funding, and then what is the output that we request, yeah. So you can see here the output KPI is very important. This one is for graduation, recipient graduation means for those who are doing postgraduate, yeah, already graduated from degree, yeah. So you can see the funding duration also very important, because you know roughly how long the grant is supporting you, yeah. Sometimes 6 months, sometimes 3 years, sometimes 2 years, or the long term one can be 5 years, yeah. So they covered, what is the thing that they cover? This is mostly for your study, yeah. So when we move on to research, this is the one that more suitable, and you can see the output here is just one ISI index paper, yeah. So it's very suitable and not easy, not difficult to achieve, right? So the whatever they funded us is 60K, which is quite suitable for our small type of research, yeah. Yeah, you all understand, right? And it's cater for 2 years, which is quite suitable for our postgraduate student, right? Yeah. So, and you also have to see what is their target, yeah? What type of issue they want to target, like healthcare, what other things that they are looking at, maybe other technology, you know? So all this you need to fulfill when you propose your proposal and application, yeah? So other than that, we also have this we call Bantuan Khas Penyelidikan, which is for our early career researcher, our young lecturer. Yeah, you can apply this grant when it open, and they will award about 50 to about 100, between the 30 to 100K type of grant, depends on your research project. Yeah. And UMREG is also quite good grant, and it award about 100 to 300K, and for a moderate terms like 2 years type of project. And they also look for innovative type of research. Yeah. The last one, matching grant, actually they want us to match with another team. Yeah. Later we go for detail. Yeah. So you can see here the BKP ECR is for our young lecturer or young staff, right? You see, not more than 6 years of service, and they award 12 months, 1 year project, and about 50K. Yeah. Okay. So they hope that the output can be more I don't think they look for a very, very high KPI output for this, because we are encouraging our young researcher to do research. Yeah. Okay. And you can see the other one, UMERG, is a more advanced grant, and they award for 2 years to 3 years, about 100K. Yeah. Matching like a FRGS type of grant. Yeah. So they also they don't look for a specific area of interest, because got so many field that can do a lot of research, right? But they want 3 papers, and one must be a tier 1 paper, and either one you can get master or PhD student in this research. So when your supervisor apply this type of grant, right? Actually, one master means you can become the master student on that research project. Then at the same time, you get all this grant money for your research. Yeah. So it's really, really win-win situation, right? Yeah. It helped a lot to let you execute your research even in a better way and easy way. Yeah. And other than that, you can see other grant. This is matching grant. We call it matching grant. They want us to match, yeah, to match with another faculty, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. External fund, matching.
Any kind of external fund
Yeah.
policy. So it can be even industrial, like you say you have a company and they are funding your project for some equipment, then matching, and they say they're giving you some funding, just 10,000, they'll match and they'll top up with another 10,000 ringgit. So like
meaning
industrial,
when
like
you already have
Stella and all of that.
external grant,
yeah, that
you
means like
already have
industrial
external
grants.
grant, but you still need some more money for your research. Actually, you can use this matching grant to help you as well. So sometimes you can use one external grant and one internal grant for your research. Yeah. So, but the reason of that, you really have to write in detail why you need a matching grant for that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see the if you need any further info about the new grant, the newer grant. Every month we have the new grant release as well. You can look for this grant website, yeah, under our FOM, yeah. And let's look at other grants. I would like to thank Prof. Gauri also provide these few slides for me, yeah. So we have even more other grant under our Malaysian government, yeah. So we have FRGS, yeah, for fundamental research. Then we have other grant like ERGS, prototype, and we also have TRGS, which is a longer type of research, long-term LRGS, and they award more than 1 to 2 million, sometimes 3 million for the research, because some research do need a longer period to execute. Yeah. So this grant normally lasts for 5 years. And also we have laboratory grant as well. You can see here. Yeah. All these grant, the detail can be gotten from our website, My Grant website there. And every grant, they do need a lot of different types of matching. So when you see here fundamental, is more on fundamental research, the lab or the process, fundamental process. When we move on to TRGS or that and LRGS, they want us to have another collaborator, one or two collaborator from another faculty. So all this, they have rules, and when you make up your proposal, right, they need to be more multidisciplinary. So all this end up with a better, even better research. Yeah, okay. And we also have our government body award grants like MOSTI. MOSTI is a technology. You can see here, MOSTI grant is a very, very famous grant from our technology innovative ministry. Yeah. So this grant award quite a lot of money. You can see here, minimum 500K. Yeah. Then 1 million, 3 millions, and 4 millions for the high-end type of technology, high-end type of project. Yeah. And all these projects have to be linked with a technology type of work. Yeah. So all these things is very, very crucial. When you look at what they want, they will tell you, okay, we want a medical side of a interest area, but we want a more technology type of things, all that, you know. So your proposal cannot be very, very simple, just something that repeating people's work. Yeah. Okay. And this MOSTI grant, actually, they offer like very often, every quarter. Yeah. Okay. We also have other grant like MASTIC. All this is our local government Badan Berkanun as well. Yeah. You can see this one is from MASTIC Research and Development Grant. Yeah. We also have a National Institute of Health grant as well under our Ministry of Health. Yeah, you can look into the detail, what type of project they want and what type of area that's suitable, whether they are suitable for your research and how much of money or award money that they give. Yeah, and you also can see here, ASM is our Academy Science Malaysia. They are another they are also a government body. They also award grants for the researcher. And when you look at this, right, actually we also have a lot of international grants. Yeah? So we have NIH, we have Asia Express, and we have a lot other grants that you can look for, especially like UK. Currently, some grant already come back, some of the area here like Torre grant, all that. So they look for science and technology type of project. Yeah. So they always release in the early of year. Then we'll look for people to apply, get some time to review the proposal, all that. Yeah. So it's very crucial that you have get ready proposal, because sometimes you don't have enough time. Sometimes when open, right, within 2 weeks, the grant will close because we need a lot of processing of review. So normally, we'll advise our young lecturer as well, learn how to write the proposal and discuss with the proposal clinic, all that. Yeah, okay. So after you look for the target grant, right? So what should you do? With your current proposal of a research, it doesn't mean the whole proposal can be submitted for a grant application. So that is the crucial times that you need to review back. Yeah. So when you target a grant, right, the proposal need to tweak a bit so that it's suitable from the request and objective of the grant. Yeah. So what you need to do is have to stay back one step to look at your proposal, and you have to look detail whether the guideline is being followed. Yeah, in the proposal you can see a lot of subtitle. The grant application, they have like, you need to have this abstract first, then give us your background of your research and why you want to do this research. Everything, even though it's roughly is the same, but they do have some different. Yeah. So when you look at the grant guideline and request, Then only you start preparing and modify your proposal if you already have ready-made proposal. Yeah. So you have to do with that. And then after that, you need to get more people in. Let's say the grant needs other collaborator. Preferably, they will look at who is the expert team that helping you in this grant, because grant cannot managed by a person. They need a collaboration from different angle of your research. Let's say your research is pertaining to like urology type of cancer, like prostate cancer. You need to have a urologist, you need to have a scientist, yeah, you need to have a student, all that, right? So all add together. Let's say you are talking about machine learning. They need to see whether you have other collaborator that involving like computer science and other what's it called, software engineer. Yeah, so all these things is very important. So you need to gather your team, basically gather your team after looking whatever proposal that you have made, then a lot of adjustment, a lot of changes until fulfill the guidelines and the needs of the grant. Then only you move on and write a complete one. And you also need to be careful about when you write a grant, because the reviewer might be non-medical health personnel, you know. So sometimes they send to the reviewer to review the grant, right? They have a review like external reviewer, internal reviewer, all that. Some of the reviewer is not a doctor. So when you write your grant, right, you have to be very careful not to put too much of jargon inside the grant proposal writing. Yeah. So you need to really have to tell detail what is the gap of the knowledge now, what is the needs of doing this research. You really have to make sure your grant is fitting your proposal, fitting the funding that they request and the grant guidelines. Yeah. So that you won't be like doing work that not fulfilling, and then as well as the output is poor. Yeah. So looking at that, you know, you understand, right? When you prepare the proposal, it's not easy. You really have to match and see whether it's suitable or not. Okay. So after you have done the proposal, then you submit, right? Because every grant opening, right, they will write when is the submission date, when is the deadline, the time of the date, the time of the last date, you also have to know. Sometimes they say by 12 noon of this date, you need to submit. So you just over 1 minute or 1 hour, they also won't accept. Yeah, so be careful, don't go for last minute submission, because during that time, if all online submission, right, the the website will be very busy, and you don't get to submit even sometimes, you know. So be careful, make sure you submit early if you can get your proposal ready early. Yeah. So after the submission, then the grant will go to an external reviewer, which is the outside people, or internal reviewer from the same faculty or university. Then only they will rank your proposal to which ranking. Then only they have a main committee to review, and finally recommendation is approved. Then say a very good recommendation for your project, then they will approve and you get the grant award. Yeah. So after the grant being accepted or you're being awarded, right? So what should you do? Yeah, you suddenly so happy, what to do then? The next step, right, even important before you even important compared to getting the grant, you know, because management and managing the grant is very crucial, and it will become your track record. Yeah, the track record of getting grant, track record of managing your grant will be your future track record of getting a better or a bigger grant, you know. So very important when you got the grant, right? So a lot of steps will start. Yeah. So once the grant being awarded, they will announce in the email everything, right? So you will get a letter that telling you, okay, congrats, you get the grant, and your grant will be from which date to which date, and how long is the grant, and how much they are going to provide you. So after you got that letter, right, everything kickstart, right? Your research have to be start, and you need to make sure your ethics are already approved so that you can run your research as soon as possible. without delaying, because the grant period is very fixed. If they say 2 years, you might be able to extend another 6 months. Yeah, not more than that normally, you know, unless it's very, very a good reason or strong reason to support that. Yeah, so be careful about that. So when you get the grant, you need to execute your grant, a lot of procurement of your instrument or anything that you need to fulfill whatever budget that you have put there. Okay, so sometimes because initial you think you need this budget, but later on when you on the midway of doing your research, you know, oh, I might need to add something else because now the research or the lab work need other things. So you need to do some amendment on your budget. So all this can be done with your research office, with all the system that they have put up for you. Yeah. So you also, as a manager, very important to monitor the milestone of your grant. Yeah. As well as you need to regularly do reporting, your progress report. Yeah. And you also have to understand, you need to fulfill your KPI of that grant, right? So the KPI is you need to get a master student. You have to start advertise to get your master student or PhD. Yeah. And you also have to make sure your publication is on in the period during the grant. Yeah. So all these things is your track record. Yeah. So before you end your grant at the fixed period that they already told you, okay, by 2 years, you will end the grant with which date. Yeah. So you have to be very, very careful and catch up all these milestones. Yeah. So let's look at how to fulfill your grant, and this close up stage is very, very important. Yeah. So before you end the grant, you have to review regularly. What have you done? Have you published enough? Have you get your master student to do things that you need to reach, you know? So sometimes by 90 days before the end of your research, they will send, by end of the grant, they will send you a reminder. Yeah. So your grant will end in 3 months' time. Kindly adjust, and you need to prepare your progress report, and then you have to review yourself all the money that you, whether you have used up, you know. If you don't, normally they don't encourage you to leave too much of money inside because you don't fulfill and you don't fully utilize to reach your output, right? So everything is very, very systematic. Yeah, by 90 days you need to check your grant and close up soon. Yeah, by 15 days then your project consider complete. Yeah, and you need to show your output. This is an example from University of South California. Yeah, how the period of close up have to be done, right? So you need to go through everything. Yeah, they always give you some guidelines. Yeah, what to do. By 15 days, they give you another reminder to see whether anything that you have completed. If your budget still have a lot of money inside, then they will suggest you to do a short amendment or that. Yeah. So, and also you need to make sure everything is complete by 30 days before close up. Yeah. So all these things is very crucial, and it's very important to become a, when you're being awarded a grant, then you are the manager, you know. So you are not the researcher alone. You need to be, you manage your grant, manage the milestone, manage your student, and manage your research. Yeah. So it's not easy, and it's a very um, uh, fulfilling type of work that you've never done before. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so after close up, so you can understand a grant cycle. Yeah, so start with, you have to think what grant you want to apply because you have a research project, right? So after you match your grant, you get your proposal, and then you submit, and then being reviewed, and you get the grant. Yeah, so you have to manage well, and at the end you close up with a very good track record. Yeah, so you have to understand the cycle, a lot of do and don'ts as well, and a lot of challenges when you manage a grant. So all these things you really need to, you can learn along the way. Yeah, so a lot of guidance you need. Yeah, because you need to have empowerment in writing. Yeah, because proposal, first proposal normally some people tried more than 10 times of proposal, only they get a first grant, you know. So all this thing is not as easy as we think, yeah. And please don't give up, yeah. All this really need a lot of effort, huh? But you can learn along the way, and when you manage the grant, it will be very important on the milestone, yeah. All these things you should continue and learn, and small mistake, small weakness always can be replaced and re-edit, right? Yeah. And you have to work persistently, not like one night one grant proposal out, yeah. So it's not like that, you know. When you get your proposal up, you need to discuss, get to see whether literature, any new things happen in the field that you are looking at, you know. So are you doing a new things, all that, yeah. So all these are very crucial, and you need to look for more opportunities, not like, okay, FRGS out already, close, then I'm not going to, I have to wait for the result. Sometimes you might need to look for other grant, other opportunity, because it's very competitive, yeah. Like all these FRGS, UMREG, very competitive, but when you get it, then you can straight away kickstart your proposal and your research easily, yeah. So you don't get everything stuck in between, yeah. So always have a mind of getting ready the proposal. If you are academic staff and student, for sure you already have a proposal as well, but think what is the out of frame that you are looking at, you know. So you don't look for things that same like how previous researcher look at. If not, then there is no innovation, there's no something we call niche in the research, yeah. So a lot of things that you can learn, yeah, through a lot of like grant clinic. They will advise you, okay, after they look at your proposal, very senior researcher normally will be the advisor on consultation there, consultant, and then they will tell you, okay, your proposal not really suitable for this grant, yeah. So you should look for other grant, or you should tweak your proposal a little bit more, yeah, to suit the grant, yeah. And you can attend some workshop along the way. When we open a new grant opening, then they will have a workshop, they have a clinic for the student as well as the academic staff, yeah. So don't give up the first thing. Yeah, a lot of people, when they get the big grant, right, it's not like one night. They already have tried more than 10 times, yeah. Okay, yeah. So a journey of 1,000 miles will begin with a single steps, you know. So start few steps, and then learn from there. Every step, whatever you have done, you have learned. And the reviewer that from the grant that failed is very important, you know. They will let you know, okay, your project actually not suitable because of what, you know. So you should think in another way to change a little bit more for the proposal. If you think the research title is very still suitable, yeah, so you should look for other types of thing, but in the same field, yeah. Okay, I shall take some question from here if you have any question.
Prof, we have one question in the chat box.
Okay, so how long does it take for a grant to be approved from the application? Yeah, so it really depends. We always have a milestone, especially for FRGS grant or the government that federal government award grant. So they have normally like 1 month or 2 months of review, and then they will call you in if they think your project is very good and very suitable for their grant. Then they will call you in for interview as well, all that. So once done, then normally within 2 weeks to 1 month, then the award, normally about 2 months minimum from the day of they call you for interview, 1 month to 2 months. So you have to expect maybe about at least 3 months to 6 months. Yeah, normally. Yeah. So Prof. Gauri said FRGS might be longer. Yeah.
FRGS
Okay.
might be longer, but otherwise, right, it's around that 2 months. You will already kind of know the outcome
By 3 months normally, right?
Yeah,
By
yes,
3 months,
correct.
you know whether you get it or not. Because they
once
will they won't delay too much one normally.
you were showing, yeah.
Okay. So think about your project first. The important is whether it's good for a grant application. Normally your supervisor will let you know, right? So prepare the proposal, then they will try to edit according to what the grant needs, you know. So that is a learning process because a lot of people never apply. You don't even see the application form before, right? So learn from there, then you know what to write, and then in future, then it will make your work easier.
And
Any things that you want to know more, and let us know, because I guess this is the second time that I'm giving this grant talk from last year, right?
yes, correct.
Yeah. Mm. So
Prof,
every month we will have a new list of opening the grant that can look for. Then Prof Gauri and the team, actually we can provide the list to the student. If you have a group, easier, or we will directly provide to your supervisors normally. Yeah.
And if you notice any grant which you think is suitable for your project, then bring it up with your supervisor and see how they can apply it with you guys. Yeah. Especially when your project needs funding. Even if your project just needs to have certain things covered, like an RA and all that, there are possibilities of applying for a grant to at least have some support stuff, especially the NI, there's now the database one, the Ministry of Health one. Actually, they cover for RAs under that because it's for data collection mainly.
Yeah.
So your retrospective study, prospective study. Yeah.
So if your project need a lot of data collection, I don't think you can work for the data collection alone, you know, not easy, because you have to look for patient and then follow up data, all that. So the best is having a research assistant helping in the project normally, because I don't think you have time, right? Because you have a lot of training, hands-on in OT. You don't even can come out sometimes for the teaching, right? So it's very, very important to have a research assistant to be around. Then we need grant to support them. Yeah, that is very important. Okay, yeah. So I guess it's just appetizer or dessert probably. It's not a main course. Main course we need Prof Gauri to give even detail.
There are actually full day workshops actually for grant applications.
Yeah.
Come up. But how many of you all here, just maybe raise your hands, who think your project will need some sort of funding, even if it's a small amount of or coverage of things which you need to use, like scans or patients MRI and those kind of things. Just raise your hand if funding is required for your project to run. No one needs funding?
Actually, my thesis topic, because it's under vascular, and I did try to approach some what do you call it, like Medtronic or even Vascular Society Malaysia to help fund the project, because initially it was a multi-center study involving 10 hospitals lagi, and need money to pay research assistant. But unfortunately, no one wanted to give money. So
not even not the society.
Not even the society. So
you can consider, I think, the NIH. I mean, not NIH. Even NIH actually, but that's international grant. But it might take longer. But the Ministry of Health one, the one which I just brought up, the one which they also give up funding for database collection, that's something which your supervisor can try applying with, and maybe you can just help with the paperwork.
But the issue is always of time constraint with us. So I think for me personally, I'm trying to make do, and we've cut down from 10 to at the moment 4, but Mr. Haris is still trying to push for more centers. We'll need to be realistic about the situation as well. But that's for me lah. Yep, thank you.
Try to look for any chances of like those who like not specifically for certain area one, you know, a more general area, and then more a clinical application type of grant will be more suitable, because those who like fundamental one very difficult for this type of work. Yeah. Okay. Tiong? We have one more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the question?
Just now I saw Sue raising
Yeah,
your
but I
hand.
think they're saying that they need funding. So remember,
Okay,
I asked
right.
them to raise
Yeah.
their hand if they need funding.
Mm.
What sort of funding do you need? What's your project? Yeah.
Yeah, Sue is
My
doing a
project.
project with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a nutritional project that some
Yeah.
of the instrument we need funding, and
We
the
mm,
supplement, the
yes.
ONS, we need some funding. So that's
Yeah.
why
We
I asked Sue to prepare the proposal first. Then we have to look for when the fund opportunity open that's
Yep.
suitable for the project, then we can submit. So we can you cannot wait for your wait for the fund to open, then only you prepare your
Right.
proposal,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
Not
totally
yeah.
enough
agree.
time. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you need to
Correct.
really look for the budget and see how much you need, and look for the company that you need to get the source of your equipment. All that you have to get ready. So
Yeah.
so that
Actually,
when your opportunity to get grant will be more solid, you know. So
Mm.
if you just like very imaginating type of a grant proposal, very difficult, because the reviewer know, and
Yep.
the funding body also know how the proposal should be, you know. So all this
Yeah.
need time to prepare. Not one night can prepare, okay? Yeah.
Mm.
Please remember
Understand.
that. Let your supervisor know you need some funding, so let's look for some, but you need to prepare the groundwork first. That is very important.
Proxy,
Yeah.
you have brought up a important point, which is the budget. I'm sure you would have covered some bits there, but you do know that sometimes some budget there is a variation. Some grants don't give all the votes. There are votes, right? The one where you can pay for RA and graduate RA and all of that. Then there's a vote for rental, vote for, because sometimes you just rent the equipment. You don't really need to buy an equipment. Some actually allow you to buy equipment, which is now very rare already. I don't know why, but research materials, traveling as well. And then traveling is broken up, whether it's for conference or traveling for field work, like especially like everyone who's doing data collection, they might need to rotate, right? So maybe you want to add on all the different kinds of budgeting which needs to be done for a grant, and sometimes how not all of it is applicable. Some grants don't allow all the votes. Yeah.
Okay, so before you talk, before we plan the budget, right, very important, you look back on the grant guideline. So every grant, they have different guideline, but they are roughly the same, that in terms of like the main component, like direct type of budget, like research assistant budget, all this equipment, direct one. It's not an indirect type, you know. So all this is a fixed type of things, but let's see your amount of the last amount, you only can apply this grant maximum 100,000. So you don't even can put 100,000 sometimes, you know. So you shouldn't put fixed or over 100,000, because if not, then they won't take your proposal at all. Yeah, so that is the first thing that you have to understand. Don't put just 200K, and then people will give you 100K, sorry. So to them, if you need 200K, they only give you 100K, definitely no output to them, right? So have to be really careful in the budget, and you have to adjust your budget. Let's say your research assistant salary also have to get part-time sometimes, because the amount of grant that they give you 60K. So don't even can support a research assistant for 1 to 2 years, you know. So you need to get a part-time, consider part-time like half the salary, all that. So all these have to really adjust, because they will say maximum is how much for the vote of research assistant or graduated research assistant, you know. Then maximum how many % of the grant can only allocate for your equipment, All these have to be carefully planned. If not, when they look at your budget, not fulfill their requirement, they might reject your grant proposal, you know. All these things is very crucial. That's why you can start with something that you already need, you know. You go and calculate how much you need to give, you know. So later when you saw a grant, but the budget is half from what you need. So a lot of time we do say, okay, you can apply and you get half of it, then you work from there, you know. Then later on, half you have phase one already completed. Actually, you can go for another new grant to continue your work, you know. Everything will be certain things like that. So when you do a proposal with a 60K, right, you cannot put a grant output that you promise. You know, that is very dangerous because you promise 2 paper, then you only have 60K for that. That is not easy to promise, you see. So if you cannot fulfill, then your track record will be having problem. Okay, so the list of the vote is quite similar. They have a research assistant. They have a second part will be equipment, right? Or travel, what's it called? Travel, all that. Then third one will be others, like they said, consultation for your statistic, other
yeah, that would be like
yeah,
professional services and
yeah,
honorarium.
services. So all these component will be there normally. Yeah, and then they will tell, okay, you cannot purchase a computer or laptop for your research, or no electronic devices or something like that. They will purposely put there, so you cannot purchase anything like a computer or that. But software sometimes can. It depends on your research, like machine learning. You might need some software. Yeah. So I saw you are writing, is it mandatory for the research project to be approved by ethics prior to grant application? So yes and no. Yeah. It depends on what type of research you are doing. Okay. Sometimes you can go on for, you get the grant, but sometimes the research, the ethics application take time. So it will cause a lot of issue waiting, you know. Some of the project you can go for ethics approval, right? Then you, at the same time, you get your grant application. So once your grant out, then your ethics already approved. Then the grant awardee body, actually, they are very happy, you know, a lot of things you have started, you know, even some, we call pilot study you have done, even better as well to them because you already show some result. So all these thing is very depends, because when we talk about lab work, not easy because the work need a lot of instrument, you need to rent some services, all that need grant, right? So generally that type of research might need to wait for a while. Yeah. So they don't go full force. You can start a small type of research on that, but you cannot go full force because it costs a lot of money. So normally the lab type of work, they need to wait. But the clinical type of work, all that, sometimes you don't, you can start your research sometimes even before your grant get awarded. Yeah, it really depends. Yeah.
Yeah, it does depend. Yeah. So I agree with Prof. C. So it also depends because sometimes some ethics committee, they will ask you, do you have funding for this work? How are you going to cover this? How are you going to cover that? So then they might not grant the ethics until you show that you can actually cover the cost of certain things. So it really goes by application, and that's the most of the time is when ethics ask you that. The best is to actually write both of it up parallel, so that you, if you need funding and need ethics, write it up at the same time, send it off also around the same time. So then and so you can chat when they do ask that question or feedback, you can say, no, I've submitted for funding, I'm waiting, when ethics asks, and vice versa, when the grant asks, say ethics it has been submitted or it's under review or something like that.
Yep. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Yep. Everybody happy?
I think so. They're all
Just
quiet
want to
or-
see the show of hand whether you want us to regularly update any new grant or that, no, because you're running different types of research. So we won't know until your supervisor know about that, right? So you can let us know whether you want to know early, then we can post in the group lah. But we don't have a full group of year 1 to year 4 master student in one group. Am I right? We don't have, right? We can open the chat box for this purpose lah, if you want, for the research lah. Yeah.
Yeah, don't have a mega group where all the year
So
1
if
to
you
year
get
4.
the year 4 TL to do all these things, so easy for y'all to go in for anything, any info that we can provide to y'all lah, if y'all want. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Happy everybody? So our
Yes,
next
Prof.
topic, it will be which topic, Prof Gauri?
I think the next one will be after Raya, and it will be me. I'm doing sample size and then followed by a sample size clinic.
Okay, so you understand all the topic is very important for your research skill, yeah. So even though you already know like sample size maybe, but there's other type of technique that we will share with you, so that you can think about, okay, maybe I can try another technique and see whether my sample size is good or not, or anything that you still meet the in the middle of thinking what to do, you can bring up and discuss, you know. Yeah, that is very good. But of course, this type of like online teaching type is not easy to do that. It
Yeah.
will be more suitable for face-to-face, something we call research clinic type of things. Yeah. So you can grasp the principle on all these things, so that when you go back and do your calculation, then you still have problem, then you should come and look for the research team, yeah, or us, yeah. Okay.
And also it's so that you have some idea when we say go to RMC, because I know that sometimes they might not speak the same language. So you might need to first know what is your main outcome, or see is the right value to show them to do the calculation for you, those kind of things. Because if not, they might be calculating the sample size based on the outcome you're telling them, and it might be wrong. And you actually want to select the right numbers to give them and the right design to give them, because they won't know the whole study. They're calculating based on what you're saying. So the main idea of the sample size workshop is for you to be able to word it correctly to the help you calculate, or how for you to calculate yourself correctly. Yeah.
And
The
different
language.
type of study, their sample size calculation is different. Yeah.
Yeah, because when it's a ROC, like based on the analysis you're going to do and all of that, so the sample size calculation is different. The other thing which Prof C's talk, which with the whole budget thing, it's important actually to know how to budget, even if you're not applying for grants, is because that's something which you're going to do when you actually go out and start working as consultants anywhere, because you need to justify why you want to buy equipment for your hospital and all of those things. And actually learning how to budget and justify your budgeting is a very important skill to learn, and that's something which you learn when you try to budget grants as well, right, Prof C? Like, isn't it the
Yep.
same kind of procedure, trying to speak to the hospital to allow you to buy something? Or
Correct.